What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's RETOUCHING. As usual, you already know what it is. I am super excited to be making this video, just like I'm excited to make every single video for you guys. But today I have a very interesting video for you guys. I've been doing a lot of editing tutorials, not tutorials like how I edit, because everybody's kind of curious how I edit. So this one is kind of different. This one is how I retouch my film photos. So today's video is about how to retouch film photos. So this is my process, guys. You don't have to follow my process, but in all my retouching I use Photoshop. So if you don't have Photoshop, I guess this is not for you. I will try to make a Lightroom edition, but comment down below and let me know if you want a Lightroom edition. But I highly suggest, if you're making professional photos, that you do own Photoshop, because it's gonna help you a lot. All your coloring would be a lot better in Photoshop, to be honest with you guys. Like, Photoshop is necessary, and if you're kind of scared like how I used to be, don't be scared. You catch on. Trust me, you catch on and you will love this program. So I do use Lightroom and Photoshop. But with that being said, today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how I retouch. There's no special way to my retouching process, but a lot of you guys would rather see me do it as opposed to just like tell you, oh, I use the healing brush tool. Some people don't even know how I use it effectively, and like little tricks that I use here and there and things that I look out for. So do watch out for the things I look out for when retouching, and my my attention to detail and all that type of stuff. So I'm gonna try to keep this video as short as possible, but I will also keep it true to my liking. So if you like this type of video, comment down below, let me know, and don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up if you like it, if it helped you, or if you like my process or any of that stuff. But yes, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna be doing retouching. This is how I do it, guys. If you guys have any suggestions on how I could make my workflow a lot better, comment down below and also let me know. But without further ado, you know, let's get to retouching. So guys, over here I have this beautiful image that I recently took. You guys know from the Instagram post, this is the last photo or second last photo I posted. So in this photo, obviously there's nothing that is perfect. You can see there's that's dirt over here. Not dirt, but like when you're scanning film yourself, you're gonna get these noise thingies. I forgot what you want to call them, but like it's pretty much noise and scratches on film, or like, you know, like dirt specks and all that type of stuff. So right here we have this big ginormous dirt speck. And guys, in my editing process I use a Wacom tablet. This is very vital to your whole editing experience. This makes my editing a lot faster, and you guys are gonna see how the workflow sort of is using a Wacom tablet. Remember, I'm using the Wacom again. The one I have is the Intuos Pro, I think. Yes, I'll link it down below. I'll link it down below, and you guys will be able to see the Wacom tablet that I use. Very vital, very key to photo retouching. So right now, as you guys remember what I was saying, that is very vital. I'm holding the Z button and I'm just literally pressing down and zooming in and out. This is very key. Let's say I'm super zoomed in as well. I could hit the space button and I'll be able to maneuver through the whole photo effectively. So Wacom tablet, very key. First thing that I do when I'm retouching, I always make a copy layer. This is very important. You always want to have your original on the bottom. You always want your original first. Like, so always keep and reserve your original photo. And then now we get started. So first off, I want to do like some very simple cleaning, and I use the healing brush tool, which is over here. It's like a bandage over here, and one bandage. Oh god. Anyways, so what I usually use, guys, is spot healing. Over the years, Photoshop has actually changed a lot, and it's like, what do you call this? It's AR. Its ability to sort of guess what information was done before. Like, let's say, because usually I'll be able to get rid of this like this. In the old Photoshop, it wouldn't be able to create this other edge over here effectively. It wasn't able to do that. It would actually just smudge and all that type of stuff. But like the new Photoshop, the newer they get, the more they're intelligent to figure out what was done before, what you're trying to do, pretty much. So I usually start with the healing brush tool with simple things like this. This is very clear that I don't want that. So Photoshop will have an easier time to sort of understand that. And here's another thing that I do with this tablet, guys. You see this? I'm able to resize very effectively and very quickly by just holding down Alt and my right click button, which is over here, and also just like now I just start painting in. This is why this is also super easy, guys, super easy, because the Wacom tablet is just so easy to use. So when I'm retouching, guys, I look out for stuff like hairs. Like I don't like hairs because they kind of distract into the image. Give me a second. I want to make this a little bit harder so that it's actually registered a lot. So right now with the pen, guys, this is another reason why the pen is very important. You could go light and you could go hard and hard and hard, right? I'm gonna undo that. And undoing, guys, my undo button is over here. My step back button is actually over here. I usually don't use the shortcuts at all. So over here, there's a little mistake over here. You know what? Let's step back. The eyes are usually very, very tricky. So let's go back. All right, so awesome. So we're gonna go back on the healing brush tool, and then we're gonna do it really slowly. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna make this quite bigger. Since I do have pressure sensitivity, I just gotta press very lightly. So over here, we're cleaning this up. It's very important to take your time when there's a part that is very difficult. Do take your time, guys. Do it like piece by piece. So like black, obviously, because the line is pink, it'll be easier for the computer to sort of know, okay, this is an all black area, what is this pink doing, pretty much. That's how I kind of like to think of it. Very simplified, very easy. And this one's gonna be a little bit tricky, but it's gonna be okay. And that hair is totally gone, and it's gone perfectly. So now over here, we're gonna zoom in. These are also distracting hair from the final image, as well as this one. You can take care of a lot of these, guys, when you're actually in the shoot, but it is never going to be perfect, really. That's why you got to retouch a lot of this. And there's this random hair. So this hair over here, guys, is a very, very distracting hair, because if you look at the full image, look at this. There's this random hair going left. All the hairs are going down, and there's this random hair going left. We got to get rid of that hair. So you just pretty much go over it. And guys, the more you start paying attention to detail, you'll be able to pick these things out to be like, oh, there's a pattern going on here. And the healing brush tool did a fantastic job. I'm just gonna clean this up a little bit here. And yeah, that looks really good so far. And let's make this brush a little bit bigger. Let's make it harder. Harder is down. There we go. So now we're gonna zoom in here. And then there's this little glow on her cheeks. I'm gonna like just go around with the brush tool and just sort of like do this. And guys, I will say that I'm editing medium format photos, so there is a lot of detail. And there's also this random hair. This hair is annoying. Okay, let's get rid of this hair, guys. Let's get rid of that hair. Very light. Certain areas like this that are very like close to the skin, they're very tough to get rid of using this brush tool. But another thing you could use, guys, you could use the other healing brush. It's called the traditional healing brush. The one I was using is the spot brush. So this one, you select an area and then you just paint over it. I don't usually recommend using this one for film photography, because like I just don't recommend it for film, to be honest with you. Because it pretty much, you grab how it works is that you just sort of like grab an area, right? Let's say you want to grab this area, and to do that, if you have a pen, I held Alt and then selected wherever I want to do. It is just like with film, I just don't recommend it because there's so much grain and stuff. So it might cluster a certain part of grain, but like I found with the spot healing brush tool, it kind of has it kind of knows that there is grain for some reason, but the healing brush tool is literally like copying and pasting. It's like using the patch tool pretty much. So it won't be as bad if you're using the Wacom tablet, because you are able to sort of control how much it usually like patches. But I'm gonna just assume that everybody doesn't have this, so I would say don't use it at all. Like I would not recommend it. But if you do have a Wacom tablet, do not be afraid of it that much, because it won't affect your grain as much, because you will have control over how you sort of press down and how much information it copies. But we're gonna switch back to the spot healing brush. It's a lot easier, and most of my images are very minimalistic, so it's easier to sort of like clean things up. So over here, you know what, I'm gonna make this a little bit harder. I want this to be harder. So now we're gonna just go around and cleaning up like little things, like over here, like little distractions that I find. Even like all of these wrinkles over here, those ones are pretty okay. Girls and guys, don't be afraid to edit some of your women's imperfections, because they probably expect you to. And if you feel like there's something you might feel that they don't want you to change, feel free to ask them to be like, hey guys, like hey so and so, do you mind if I take this off? Like, I know this could be like a mold. Some people are very proud of their molds and they don't want to get rid of them, or it's like something that really defines them. You can pretty much ask them, and they'll be down to sort of help you, to tell you, to be like, hey, I kind of like that mold, do you mind keeping it in there? But other than that, usually they're okay with like certain imperfections being taken care of. So even here, like little hairs like this, I take care of that. And guys, the smallest details do matter in the end goal, in the end product. Like, they do matter. So in retouching, guys, I usually just retouch everything, and I don't really deal with I don't really like colorize until I'm done with the full retouch, because I like to re-reference with the original to be like, okay, like what might have missed, what would I have missed, or yada yada. Or even like little things like this, like these over here, like you can see the little cracks. You can take care of those, like those, that's totally fine to take care of. You can lightly do it. In a situation like this, it's very it's turning out really well, but I would use the healing brush tool to sort of make it light in terms of the effect. It will make light because I'm using a Wacom tablet again, so it would totally work very effectively with that. So over here, let's get rid of that glow. I don't like that glow that much on her tooth. And over here, there's this little black part. I don't want that as well. And then we're gonna get rid of that as well. I'm gonna just work around here as well with all that detail. And yeah, so usually when I'm retouching, it takes a bit of time for me to like retouch. It would take me like a couple of hours, I don't know, like an hour, depending on if it's for a client. It will take me like, if it's like for a major client, it will take me like a couple hours to retouch like one photo, or like 1 hour or something, depending on what kind of work it needs. If the model has naturally good skin, then it's gonna make it a lot easier to do that. But now I'm just gonna go and take care of all those dust particles and all that type of stuff from the scan. All of these, like, it's pretty good at reading to be like, okay, this is not supposed to be there, because as well, like I said, it's really good at saying, okay, this is all this color, why is there a random white there? So it will do a really good job not replacing your not getting rid of your grain and all that type of stuff. It will still maintain the grain. So we're gonna get rid of all these imperfections. You know what, I'm actually gonna try to see if it could take care of this twist over here, because the AR for this for Photoshop, guys, is so good. Like, it's really good at reading what is supposed to be. Look at that, it's already creating another one, which is pretty good. These are like minor details, but like they are gonna help and make a bit of a difference. With a client that actually pays attention to stuff like this, it would make a difference. I should have noticed this while I was shooting, but that's okay. Just gonna create this little gap over here. So as you guys can see, it's obviously not perfect, but it's a minor, very minor detail. It's not really gonna make a crazy amount of difference when you look at the big picture like this. It's not gonna make crazy difference at all. So right there, we just fixed that. I would normally, just because the tutorial needs to be a bit quicker, I'm gonna like take my I'm not gonna fix and sit here, but I am a perfectionist. I will literally sit here for 20 minutes trying to make this look straight. It is possible with Photoshop, you can do that, but I'm not gonna sit here and do that right now. And also, I usually go in my borders, where usually when I scan, I will go in here and I'll try to get rid of most of this, like all these like imperfections. I will get rid of these, get rid of that. Like if they're very big, I do like some dust particles in certain areas, so like that big one that looked like a big dust particle, I had to get rid of that one. Or even these ones that are like very long dust particles, get rid of that. Get rid of this as well. And also, and And also usually when I scan, I usually get these black borders. I usually take care of that as well. So I hit J on the keys. Guys, it's very important to learn your shortcuts as well. I will say it's very, very, very important. So this could also help you with your resizing. You're using the healing brush tool to fix these black points. It could also help with your sizing. So let's say you want to create a larger size but also maintain the borders, you could use that as well. So oopsie. So we're gonna take care of this part. It's taking a while. I don't want it to take this long. So you guys pretty much get the point with that. But now my next step is to sort of stay away from the face and also like look around the scene, around the scenery, and try to see if there's any imperfections that I want to take care of that are minor. Like you see these ones behind the white wall, these are not necessary. I don't really need to touch on those as much because they're kind of blending in with the background. But over here with the blues, you could see these. And again, this is for like not my very, very professional work that needs to go to like clients. If it did need to go to clients, I would take care of every single detail. I kind of like those wrinkles in there. I don't really see a wrinkle that I don't like so far. And also I'm gonna take care of this. There's whites here. I'm gonna take care of that. Over here and over here, take care of these a bit. And then now everything is looking pretty good. Guys, I am a perfectionist. I'm trying to make this this video very short. But when I start retouching, I really get into it. Like I get super into it. But over here, we're just taking care of like little like light like highlights that just kind of like came in. It's just too harsh. Especially here, there's like this little black point. I don't want that. Over here, I want to get rid of some of that white. And then I'm just retouching around. She didn't wear any earrings, so I'm gonna get rid of this earring hole. And over there as well. So yeah, this is looking pretty good. I'm liking this so far. Oh, even up top here, I'm gonna get rid of that white. So now let's look at the before and after on the retouch. So that's how it looked before on the retouch. So we fixed the lips over here. You know what, I'm gonna show you guys what I fixed. So be on here, I fixed here. Hold on, let me make this smaller, and then harder. So what I did, I just created a layer. So I fixed over here. I need a brighter color. I need a brighter color. I need a bright color. So I fixed over here. I fixed over here as well. As you guys can see, hold on, let me turn off that layer. So there's a lot of things I fixed over here, here, and here, and this hair over here, as well as here, and here, that little glow, as well as in the center here, and also here. Those are all imperfections, as well as here. Here, obviously, I did not fix it completely, but yeah. And over here on the top. So those are the things I fixed so far, as well as that here, and in the nose, over here and here and here. If you're gonna go into detail, those are all the things that I've fixed so far. So here's a new version, taking out the red points where I fixed things. Now look at that as well. So now that's pretty much it for my retouch. If I'm not doing like a glamour retouch, that's what I would usually do. But so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually go on my curves layer, and I'm gonna go on the I don't know what this section is called, but like just know this section. I go on this section, right? Then I go to luminosity. So what this does is it turns the red, green, as well as blue into like black points or like shadows. It will pretty much affect all your reds. Long story short, it will affect all your reds when you pull on the red slide. It will affect the reds in terms of darkness and brightness. So pretty much, if I'm gonna push this down, all the reds in her skin, which are obviously in the skin, there's reds in your skin, they will get a bit darker in terms, even with the hair as well. It will affect the hair because it's pink. So I usually pull this down over here, and I'll also pull this up a bit because there's no black point in any skin. There's no like complete black shadows don't really exist, quote unquote. Obviously take it with a grain of salt. Curves layer, and then I'll go to the green, and then I'll just adjust this a bit over here. And I usually grab this. So let's say there's a specific part that I cannot get just using the little curves section over here. I'll just use this little drag up and down thing, and then I'll usually drag up for the information I want to retain. So I want to retain under the eye shadow. So like that's really looking so good so far. And then after that, I'm actually going to lower this opacity a bit down. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get a levels layer. And I'm actually gonna do the exact same thing that I did before. I don't know why. I kind of like the levels because it's a lot easier to edit than curves. So like over here, I'll just do this. This is on a grander scale as well. And then I also pull this just a bit so I get those deep shadows. So shadows, guys, they really create definition in the photos. That's why I love deep shadows. They create a lot of definition. So midtones, and then after that we're gonna go over here. Those highlights need to pop a bit. They need to pop, and again, creates a lot of definition. So right here, this is pretty good for the shadows and the highlights for me, to my liking at least. I really like that. I'm gonna group it again, and I'm gonna lower the opacity just a little bit. And you know what? I want to do a bit more. So I'm gonna grab my curves again. I'm gonna try it on a grander scale with all the RGB and the red, the greens all together. This is to sort of like finalize everything, because and then it's not gonna really affect this. This work is going to apply even after I put this top curves layer, and I'm adjusting that. It's still gonna hold its value. So now we're gonna bump up the highlights just a bit. Not by a lot. And then in the darknesses, the dark blacks, I'm gonna go on the black section over here. I'm gonna go on the black, and I'm gonna pull it down just a bit. There we go. That is looking really good. We retained information, also making it dark. That is really dope. So now guys, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start coloring the image. So I'm gonna go on my curves layer again, and I'm gonna go in the red section. So the reds, your skin, remember, if you guys, I'm gonna cue a tutorial up here where I talk about picking colors that go well with the. So I'm gonna cue a video up here that I created just not so long ago on how to pick your colors and to make your colors pretty much complement your photo. So picking natural colors that do belong in your skin. So for me, it's gonna be a browns, blacks, also reds. I do have reds in my skin, and as well as also if you're shooting a lighter person, like Allison is a bit on the lighter side, so I will pick the reds and the yellows because those ones are more complementary to her skin. So right now I'm gonna add some reds and yellows, and the photo's gonna look very natural but very poppy. So that's how you kind of create those. It's not gonna look filmish or fake. It's gonna look very natural, very natural, by adding those reds as well as the yellows. So the yellows will be in the blues. In the blue section, you just go down a bit, just a little bit. Now those skin tones are already looking very natural. So I'm adding natural saturation to the photo without actually adding saturation. So over here now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add another curves layer, but like actually no, I'm gonna do levels layer, because the levels do affect it on a different scale. It's a lot easier to sort of affect the image a certain way. So over here, I'm gonna go on the reds, and I'm gonna push this back over here. It's gonna add a little bit of the greens, but it's gonna define the image a bit more. So over here, I'm gonna actually go back with the mid-tone pretty much. I believe this is the mid-tone. This is the dark tone, mid-tone highlights. So on the mid-tones, I'm gonna push here. So it's gonna affect the skin a lot, right? And that looks really good over there. And I'm gonna go on my blues again, and I'm gonna affect the mid-tones. Add just a little bit of blues, and add a bit more yellows to the shadows, and that looks really good so far. And what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna actually group these two layers, I'm gonna grab this one and put it back here. I'm gonna group these, and then we're gonna do a before and after, which is like this. Look at that. Look at those skin tones. Now we're retaining and adding skin to the colors to the skin that is natural. But this is what makes a really good edit, when you're able to make things look real but very beautiful. It's sort of like a glamour trick, pretty much. It's pretty much a glamour trick, long story short. So, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on my exposure, and I'm gonna go on my gamma correction, and I'm gonna like add this. I don't know why I add this. It does add definition on a larger scale, just a little bit, just a bit. And then I'm gonna go on my offset, and I'm gonna like actually like bring my offset up a bit. I like offset. It makes a photo a bit dreamier, which is pretty cool. So I'm gonna drag this all the way up so it holds significance. With it, without it. With it, without it. Not crazy difference, but it actually is a difference. And that's the thing with photography, guys. Like with retouching, the littlest detail will amount to something else. I want this to be a bit brighter, just a bit, just a tad bit. Whoa, that layer was not even turned on. That was crazy. That's why I was like, what the hell? All right, so I'm gonna brighten this. I'll do a value of 5. Yeah, I'll leave it like this, and I'm gonna turn down the layer. I'm gonna like change the opacity to just lower that a bit. So there we go. Why is my mouse twitching? It's like having the twitchies. Yeah. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna turn down my brightness level down all the way down over here, so it's not too bright, because I did add too much brightness to the photo. So right there is fine. There we go. So this is pretty much a complete edit for me. This is how I usually edit my very quick images. So let's look at the before and the after. So in terms of sharpening, guys, if I wanted my photo to be sharpened a bit, I would honestly what I'll do is I'll go on the highest layer, which is this one, and then I'll do a stamp visible layer. Stamp visible layer is pretty much it's like compressing everything that you have done to that point that you've clicked into one final image, just like the original one over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold Alt, Control, Shift, E. That's gonna create a stamp visible layer. So it's pretty much everything you've done in one layer, pretty much. So if I turn this on and off, you'll see that there's not really any change to the stamp visible layer. So what I'm gonna do is that after I do that, I'm gonna go over here. My sharpening is not really I don't really do crazy sharpening. I just click on sharpen once, and that's pretty much it. There's not a lot that I've done. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for my sharpening. There's not a lot of crazy shit that I've done. It just sharpens a bit. So I don't do any intense sharpening. I don't sharpen when I scan as well. So I'll usually do it there. But this is the complete image, guys. I'm gonna actually turn all of these things off. So I'll show you guys a before and after. So this is the final image, and this is the before. So see, as you guys can see, before it was a bit washed out. Now the after is juicy, and I'm gonna actually go over here, and I'm gonna add the saturation just a tad bit, because I've been loving saturation lately. So we're gonna go add some saturation, and we're gonna push the saturation to value of 10. You know what? Let's do plus. My Wacom tablet is acting up right now. I'm gonna use my mouse for the meantime, since I'm not really retouching. So over here, we're gonna add a value of 6 to the saturation of the whole entire image. So here we go. That is final to me. That is final to me. This is a complete retouch. The skin is looking yummy. Everything is looking yummy. That's pretty much it. Yep. Ooh, look at this, look at this, look at this. We got some noise over here, guys. Oh, this is bugging me. This is like super bugging me. Yeah, this is bugging me. I can't ignore, guys. I cannot ignore. I cannot ignore. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. I have to do it. I have to. I cannot ignore it. You know what? I don't like this little gap here. Wait, let's create something over there. There you go. Boom. Now her hair looks super full. All right, so that's, yes, this is pretty much, wah! So guys, this is pretty much the full edit of this image. So before, after, before, after, before, after. Very yummy, very natural, very perfect. I think it's the perfect edit. So guys, that's pretty much it for my retouching process. I did this video uncut so that I'm kind of transparent with you guys. There are a little bit jump cuts here and there, but there was like no information. I was just sort of like trying to figure out, and I suck at multitasking, but multitasking is really not a thing. You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys really liked watching me edit. That's pretty much how I retouch all my photos, and I add colors, and that's my train of thought when I'm doing all of these things. So with that being said, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. It really does help me, guys. Let's get this video to 100 likes in 24 hours or in 48 hours. It doesn't matter. I really appreciate your help in either way. You guys are so awesome. Thanks to everybody that's been supporting. Like, you guys have been supporting me a lot, and I'm super grateful. I'm super thankful. If you guys like videos like this, comment down below. I'll also do a more in-depth edit where I actually grab some skin color tones and then I actually do like glamour. I do a lot of glamour edits as well as beauty edits. So if you guys want a different edit between glamour and beauty, I'll gladly show you guys my process on how I do those things. But that's pretty much it for this video. Yeah, I hope you guys loved it. Follow me on Instagram at shopbyshingy. Check out my portfolio, shopbyshingy.com, and check out my brand waybetterco.com. I saw some merch on there that says shoot film. It's like film merch, pretty cool. If you want to support me and the channel, go make a quick little purchase. And last but not least, follow and hashtag at WePhotoGods for me to check out your work and to potentially feature you to 700 awesome photographers. It's a really cool opportunity to gain a following and to also just be exposed. It's my gift to you guys. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It is super hot in Toronto, super duper hot, and I'm losing my mind completely. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys again. It's a bushy as usual. You know what it is. Woohoo!